some people say that, oh, they're fasting from Netflix, they're fasting from social media. That's fine, but that's not really a fast. And I say that because of this. Typically, food fasts are effective because you can't live without food. You can live without Netflix. You can live without social media. But food you cannot live without. So even Christ, who fasted for 40 days, 40 nights, had to eat. Yo, what's good? This is Donovan Anderson, the founder of 30 Mighty Men Ministries, also the founder of Clean, the tools to achieve sexual integrity for the Christian man. Today I want to talk a little bit about fasting. So one thing that we definitely do in Clean is during our time in Clean, we always end or close out our last week of Clean or our second to last week of Clean with a fast, a 3-day fast. These fasts are different than what you may see online. I know people doing fasting, intermittent fasting, and all kind of different kind of fasting. Typically, it's motivated by either fitness or weight loss or something like that. Spiritual fasting is a little bit different. Technically, the technical part of it might be similar, where you're fasting from food, you're doing a water. So you might be doing some kind of food fast, particular foods. You might be doing a water fast, some kind of liquid fast, a juice fast. Which is great. It's good. I mean, fasting is good in general. It has health benefits, so I'm not knocking that part of it. But the difference between spiritual fast and those fasts is that spiritual fast, you're not just starving your flesh. Those fasts, you're starving your flesh because you're trying to keep calories a certain way, trying to get your body to burn and trying to keep your windows in a particular time frame, so you'll need, which is fine. Spiritual fast is not just about starving your flesh, it's also about feeding your spirit. A fast in the spiritual is really only effective if you're doing both. You should be starving your flesh, meaning that you're fasting, whether it's a Daniel fast, which you can go online, look up Daniel fast, you're eating pretty much fruits and vegetables. Right? Typically, Daniel says vegetables, but fruits and vegetables, but naturally, basic ingredients, right? So no processed sugars, no processed, wheat and breads and things of that nature. Or you could be doing a juice fast, where it's a liquid fast. You're only drinking liquids for whatever that time period. If you're doing a 3-day fast, it'll be 72 hours straight, drinking only fresh fruits. Typically not bottled fruits or processed ones, but freshly squeezed from a juice bar or from your own juicer at home. Or it could be a water fast, where you're literally not doing any juice, you're not doing any foods, just doing strictly water for that same time period. Straight, no stopping, continuously fasting for 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, whatever that might be that God's put on your heart to fast. Some even go a step further and do a dry fast, where you're not doing any food or liquids for a particular time period, which is probably the most extreme fast. Now, with fasting, I don't suggest and encourage, not saying that you can't do this, but some people say that, oh, they're fasting from Netflix, they're fasting from social media. That's fine, but that's not really a fast. And I say that because of this. Typically, food fasts are effective because you can't live without food. You can live without Netflix. You can live without social media, but food you cannot live without. So even Christ, who fasted for 40 days, 40 nights, had to eat. He was a man. He had to eat. So he's fasting from something that he needs. He's not fasting from something, these things where you don't really need that. So you can live your entire life and never have it and you be okay. That's not really a fast. However, now, if you are fasting, doing a Daniel fast, a juice fast, or a water fast with Clean, I would say that by default, you're not watching Netflix. By default, you're not on social media in the same way. By default, you're not listening to secular music, let's say. You're doing things by default during that fast while you're starving your flesh. You're doing things that actually feed your spirit. And that's the other part of the fast. You have to be feeding your spirit during the fast for the spiritual fast to be effective. How do you feed your spirit? You're reading your word, you're praying, you're worshiping, you're praising, you're listening to sermons by pastors, your pastor, other pastors online. You're listening to any kind of media that helps to encourage and feed your spirit. And you will know because sometimes even during the fast, like, you kind of feel like did that help? Was that even effect? Like, you'll get a sense of it and what you need. But spiritual fast is a combination of both starving the flesh while feeding the spirit. Both have to be happening. Whereas intermittent fast, these other fasts for dieting and fitness are just starving the flesh. There's no feeding the spirit in this. So, like, those fasts are totally different. They're not in the same category, although there are some overlap between them in how you're not eating, how you're starving. But feeding the spirit is key, because while you're feeding your spirit, you'll find during the fast that when feeding your spirit and doing it properly, you won't be hungry. So if you're hungry and you have a pang of hunger during the fast, that's an indication to now feed your spirit. And once you're feeding your spirit, and those hunger pangs should go away. Like, that's kind of so you're kind of like using the flesh to say, okay, well, my flesh is weak, I'm going to feed my spirit at that time. That's what you're looking for during a spiritual fast. So again, while in clean, you even get more details around that, because it's something that one of the tools that we model in clean to get you in alignment with God, because we use that fast and use that time to strengthen our spirit, so that while we're in prayer with God, that prayer is clear, that we know that God is going to be attentive to that prayer, putting ourselves in the posture where God can hear us during that time, right? But again, it's just one part of clean, but like there's a build up to that, but that's a very significant part of like our journey in clean. So again, join us. But as always, man, these videos are not for me to be seen, but for you to be encouraged. To God be the glory. Peace.